Hello English learners, this is Learn English with Brandon, and in this video I am going to talk to you about accents, the difference between the American accent, the British accent, and what I would suggest considering when learning English and when choosing what accent you would like to have. Okay, let's just choose a common phrase in English. How about, what are you going to do today? You might hear this coming from an English speaker. What are you going to do today? Do you have any plans? Now, I am enunciating these words very clearly, and when I teach in my classes, this is generally how I speak. I speak like this in order so that my students understand me. But also, I speak like this because I want my students to speak like this. Now, I am from the United States and I don't have a British accent. So I can't teach how to have a British accent. However, I can teach how to enunciate these words properly. Now, if we look at that phrase, what are you going to do today? You could probably say that this is halfway between, right here, the American English and the British English. Because in the United States, we would say, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? Right? And to me, I mean, this is normal in the United States. This is what we hear. This is what we sound like. But if I say this to somebody, say from Northern England, from Ireland, and they didn't hear me quite right, they might not understand at all what I'm saying. And they might ask me to repeat myself. And I don't want this to happen because it requires more effort from their part. Okay? Now, I know there are a lot of other videos out there where people will teach you how to speak like this. And if you want to, that's fine. I'm not saying don't do that. But I am saying that it can make it difficult for other English learners, for other English speakers to understand you when you're speaking. And my philosophy with teaching English is teaching English in a way so that when you speak English as a non-native speaker, that any English speaker from any English country can understand you clearly. Now, there can be difficulties for Irish people to understand American people, and vice versa. There are certain idioms that might be different, but when people speak really fast in their native language, they tend not to enunciate every word accurately, and this is true for all English-speaking countries. Okay, so when I teach pronunciation and enunciation, I really emphasize the importance of saying everything clearly. So if you want to say phrases such as, what are you going to do today? That's fine, or how you doing? Right? That's fine if you want to learn that. That's fine. It's important to be able to hear it and understand it, but it's probably most valuable to you to learn the proper enunciation and pronunciation techniques that we use in English, so that it doesn't matter if you are speaking to somebody from the United States, from Ireland, from Australia, South Africa, or the UK, that they will be able to understand you clearly. Now, I have many friends from many English-speaking countries, and when I speak like this, they often compliment me and say, well, you don't speak like the typical American. And the reason why I probably don't speak like the typical American is because of the amount of time I've spent out of my country communicating with both English speakers and non-native English speakers. And my goal with communication is to make sure that people can understand me clearly as possible. Okay? So whenever we are trying to communicate anything to anybody, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to understand us. Communication in general is a very difficult thing. When you think about it, when it comes to real communication, conceptual communication, we have these abstract concepts in our minds. And we have to try pretty hard just to figure out how to put those into words. So then the third party or second party takes these words and then they try to create their own concept. And our goal is that they will create the same concept in their minds that we had in ours. This is the goal of communication. And this is difficult to do in our first language, let alone our second language. So we want to remember that we need to make this as easy as possible for the listener to understand us, so that they don't have to do any unnecessary work. Back to sounding like a Native American or like a native English person. Everybody that teaches English will say, yes, movies are great, listening to music is great, and I would suggest doing this so that you can hear it. Now, if you want to sound like these natives and you want to use these expressions in these situations, then it's best to be in that environment. And if you are in that environment, you will naturally pick that up. However, if you are outside of an English-speaking country, these techniques and saying these phrases in this way probably won't be that useful to you. Okay? I really appreciate the time that you've taken to watch this video. I hope this offers some insight. So please comment below if you have any questions or any suggestions for future videos. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.